Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about a very old and ancient tool and also very interesting tool called Abacus. This tool is also called as counting frame. This frame has like a beam in the center. There are vertical columns which has different beads. There are horizontal rows. Top section has one bead in it and the lower section has 4 bead each in all the columns. So that is a typical abacus you all might have seen in market, and that is a readily available also. Those are the student abacus, and abacus is a very ancient tool which has been in existence from past many years, or you can say centuries. Different countries have been using it: Russia, China, Greece, Persia, Egypt. These are some ancient countries who have been using these tools, and there are different versions available in market, or you can say in history, where the abacus has been used by different countries. Right now, if you can see the sonapan, that is a abacus which has a typical top section with 2 beads each, and the lower section has 4 beads. This is the Chinese version of the abacus. There is another Russian abacus version which don't have the middle beam in it. It has a flat section, or you can say the vertical columns which has the beads. There is no top or bottom section, and that is mainly used in Russia. The one which we all will be using and we have been noticing it in the market is the Soroban. The name is mainly Soroban, and primarily it is being used in Japanese calculation or Japanese style of calculation. In this, the top section has 1 bead. If you see my cursor here, the top section has 1 bead and the lower section has 4 bead each. Each bead has a different value attached to it. The lower section beads has a value of 1, whereas the top section bead has a value of 5. For example, if you see the screen here, the lower section, if I move this bead and touch it to the beam is called the center line. If I touch this bead to the center line, then only its value will be considered as counted, and this bead value, as I told, is 1. So total value right now which is represented on this abacus is 1. If I move 2 more beads, 2 plus 1, that is 3. So total beads that are touching the middle beam is 3, and the value of the lower section of the bead, as I told, is 1. So total value represented right now is 3. But if I touch the top bead, which I told you the value is 5, so that adds up 5 plus 3, that is 8. So that is how this counting will be done. But the primary point to note is there is a middle beam. Bead need to specifically touch the beam, then only the counting will be registered. The lower section beads have a value of 1, whereas the top section bead has a value of 5 attached to it. Okay, right now we will be using the software to show you or give the demo, whereas in the actual scenario, when you will be having the physical abacus in your hand, you should primarily be using your thumb and index finger to move the beads. If you are going to move the lower beads to touch the beam, you should use your thumb only to move them up, down, up. And if you want to move the top section beads down to the beam, you should be using your index finger, the first finger. That is how. And to clear, like for example, after doing all the calculations, the beads are touching the middle beam. To clear the abacus, or like you use the eraser to rub out everything, to clear the abacus, you should drive your thumb and index finger on the middle beam. This will push the beads back to their original position, because the beads shape itself is like a small pyramid kind of. Once you roll your thumb and index finger on the center beam, then these beads will go back into their original position. That is how you should be using the abacus. Another one concept is, we have been learning this, or we have learned in our junior classes, place value of a number. So place value of a number is ones, tens, hundred, thousand, and that is counted from the center column of this. For example, here this arrow which I am showing on the below abacus is the center column of my abacus. There will be abacus of different sizes, 13 column, 15 column, 17 column. So in all these, the center one, for example right now which I am showing is the 17, the center rod or center vertical column will be the unit place of ones, and then it's same as we used to write ones, and the second vertical toward the left, like for example let me show you by moving the beads up. This is right now 2 and 1, so 2 is at 10th place, so right now it is showing 20th, 20, and this is 1, so 21. This is the place value, ones, tens, and sorry, and now if I want to make 100th place, so for 100th place I am just making it 3 beads up. So the number right now which is showing on this abacus is 321. Hope you got my point, that we need to be very much sure about the place value of a number, ones, tens, 100,000, and so on, left of the decimal. Similarly, going further, once we start the calculation, there are place values of beads on the right of the decimal, and the unit place is the center vertical column or vertical rod, you can say. We will primarily be using this tool for our different calculations, like you can say we'll be using it for, sorry, uh, it's slightly deviated. Okay, we will be using it for addition primarily, then you will be using it for subtraction or multiplication. Primarily for these four applications we will start with, and then we will see how much we can expand our learning. So primarily these functions, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and within that also there will be different concepts that I will be introducing, is like direct sum. We will be solving the question if possible by direct sum. What is direct sum? We will discuss in next class. There is a direct sum. If some of the question cannot be solved with the concept of direct sum, there is another term which we call as big friend. Okay, this friend will be coming to help and solve that problem. That friend is in the form of a number which we will be taking it. So friend, always friend indeed is a friend indeed. So big friend. There is, if that cannot help in, then there is a small friend as well. And if these three concepts are unable to solve the problem, there is another concept which is called family. Family comes for the rescue, family, or you can say combination. Okay, so there are these four broad concepts that we will be using in next class, further classes, to solve our questions, and also will learn how to frame a number. Then slowly we will be introducing other concepts as well. So hope that clarifies your doubt, and primarily what we have learned in this class is about abacus and introduction, and also how the beads are set up in an abacus, what are the place values, what is the top section, what is a bottom section. Each bead in bottom section has a value of 1, whereas each bead in the top section has a value of 5. Unless and until bead touches the middle beam, the value or the counting will not be registered. So with these concepts, let's get excited and start for the next class, where we will deep dive into uh, learning the abacus and other concepts. Hope to meet up in next class. Thank you.